Let's get it.
Is it bad that I never made love? No, I never did. But I sure know how to fuck. I be a bad girl. I pull the teeth. I can't promise that I'll be good.
Y'all make me holler, honey, boo boo. Y'all make me holler, honey, boo boo.
No, not happening. But at least
Y'all
I
make
get
me
it.
holler, honey, boo boo. Y'all make me holler, honey, boo boo.
Yeah, I'll be good in bed, but I'll be bad to you.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Mack Lessons Radio Show. I am your gracious host. My name is Mr. Tariq Elite, also known as King Flex, also known as Tariq Nasheed. Glad to have everybody tuning in to a live episode of the Mack Lessons Radio Show. Ready to chop up some good game. Today's show is brought to you by artbyrico.com. Rico's down there in New Orleans, and he does great, colorful jazz art that will light up any room. Check out his website at Art by Rico. That's R-I-C-C-O, artbyrico.com. And today's show is brought to you by Hidden Colors 1 and Hidden Colors 2. If you don't have Hidden Colors 1 and Hidden Colors 2, you're slipping. You got to get that at hiddencolorsfilm.com. And my new lecture DVD, Relationships, Riches, and Race, that's going to be out pretty soon. That's going to be available for streaming on Amazon, so that will be available in a few weeks, so you guys stay tuned for that. Shout out to everybody down in Atlanta. I'm going to be in Atlanta May 18th, 2013 at the Seven Stages Theater. Get your tickets right now at TariqLive.com. The lecture in Atlanta is called The Game for Women. It's going to be some hot game for the ladies, some real good game for the fellas too. The game is going to be hot for the fellas too. So go to TariqLive.com. Get your tickets before they sell out, because it's going to be sold out. And you want to go ahead and get your tickets knocked out. The game is going to be heavy, and that one's going to be available on DVD too when we film it. And all that good stuff, ladies and gentlemen. The phone number today is 818-850-5404. Call in. Today we're going to talk about mentoring. That's the theme of today's show, the importance of mentoring. And speaking of mentoring, the group 100 Black Men, they're bringing me down to Texas Southern University April 24th, and I think it's going to be open to the public. It's going to be open to the public, and I will give you guys more details on that. So if you are in Houston, you guys will be able to come on down. And also the school is sponsoring everything, and they're funding everything, so I think it will be free for the public to come on in. So that's a good thing. So y'all can come on down and chop up game with me in Houston. And also I want to know, all my Houston people, what clubs are popping on the weekdays in Houston. Now, with that being said, don't send me to no club that has been shot. Don't send me to no ratchet spots. Don't send me and my crew into the danger zone. Let us know what's popping. I'm going to have to check out that website, In the Mix. They have a pretty good grasp of what's going on down there in Houston. But I want to know what's popping in Houston on the weekday, like Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, because that's around the time we're going to be down there. So I want all my Houston people to put me up on that game out there. Let me put on some Mac and music so I can really chop up game with everybody. Let's see, the phone lines are lighting up before I get into the game. And again, I'll keep you guys posted on the Houston lecture as well, but that's going to be April 24th, and that's going to be on a Wednesday at Texas Southern University. Who we got on the phone? We got so many people calling. What's up? Who's calling?
You got Tree from the ATL, man.
Hey, what's going on, man? What's your name again?
Tree.
What's up, Trees? What's on your mind?
Well, first off, let me salute you to Hidden Colors 1 and 2, man. I definitely got them on deck.
Yes, sir.
But I got a quick question. Is it necessarily Dirty Mac? And because I got these 3 shorties that I'm dealing with.
Okay.
Excuse me. And one of them thinking, I guess we're gonna have a little relationship type. You know what I mean? But I already told her, like, that's not my boss, but she's still rocking with the campaign. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the other 2, they still down with the campaign too. And they all know about each other. They never met or anything like that, but they know what's up. So is that necessarily dirty Mac, or am I good?
No, you're good. That's not dirty macking, because you told them that you're not really committed to anybody. And sometimes women will accept that, or women will choose not to accept that. So you're keeping it 100 as far as that. But I will say this: if the female gets too involved and they start trying to interfere with your life and insist upon you, that's when you're going to have to really charge into the game, because sometimes you can tell women certain things, but if your actions are showing them that you're going to tolerate certain things, they're going to keep on nagging and pushing buttons. And if that gets too much, it's time to charge them. But as long as you're telling them what the deal is, your conscience should be free. You feel me?
Yeah, no doubt.
Thanks for the call, player. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. But anyway, let's chop up a little bit of game right now. Like I said, today's show, we're talking about mentoring. The importance of mentoring. Mentoring is very important, especially with dudes, especially with black dudes. Let's get real deep with it. It's very important that we mentor people who are trying to come up in the game. And the key is you got to mentor people who are really worthy of getting that information, really worthy of getting your mentoring. Now, when I do my show, I do a generalized mentoring. You know, the game is very general and I mentor to the audience. But sometimes when I do one-on-one counseling, one-on-one coaching, everything is very specific. It's specified. The game is tailored to a person's particular need. And the mentoring is very important because in life, if you're a dude out here trying to come up in the game, and just women too, it's very important for women to have mentoring too, but a lot of women do have mentors. They do have female, other women who kind of reach back for them. Unfortunately, with women, you got a lot of women who are older who will reach back to you, and instead of giving you knowledge, they're giving you their bitterness. So women, you want to sidetrack that part of the game. Women who are just trying to project their bitterness and failures onto you, which is what I call the sisterhood of failure. I touched on that last week. But again, there are a lot of mentoring groups for women. A lot of women will reach back to kind of tap the shoulders of other young ladies. For the most part, they'll try. Even if it's not really good information, at least they'll try to give you what little bit of information they know. We need more of that with the guys, especially with the brothers. We don't have that no more. And the thing is, when it comes to mentoring and when it comes to learning things in life, you don't want to necessarily do the trial and error thing. You want to really step to somebody who knows a little bit more than you, and then sit down, humble yourself, and soak up game from that person. A lot of times with brothers, man, there's an ego thing. You see another cat doing a little better than you, then the hater gene comes out. You be on some fuck that nigga, he think he's all that. That's gonna keep you broke and gameless, thinking like that. So brothers got to get past that sucker mentality. See, you can't do nothing really without proper mentoring. And I'm saying this on a street level and on a square level. On a street level, even drug dealers have mentors. Y'all remember the movie American Gangster? And the character Frank Lucas, his mentor was Bumpy Johnson. In the movie Scarface, Tony Montana, his mentor was what's that guy named Frank? He ended up killing him, but Frank was his mentor. He put him in the game. And Tony Montana ended up killing the guy and taking his chick. But the thing is, it's very important, no matter what you do, to have mentors or to look to somebody who's doing a little better than you so you can soak up game from them. Humble yourself. Just like Puff Daddy had Andre Harrell, who taught him the business. Out here in Los Angeles, Death Row Records, Suge and those guys, he learned a lot of stuff from a guy named Dick Griffey. Dick Griffey was like a mentor to the people at Death Row and Suge and all those guys. He was teaching them the business. So they just didn't go in there with cold feet. A lot of the thorough people, they have mentors who school them. In the movie The Mack, which is one of the greatest so-called blaxploitation movies ever, the movie The Mack is a good movie, and you guys should study this movie, and this shows you how important it is to have a mentor. The main character, his name was Goldie. He was getting out the prison system, came out the game, was getting back into the street game. He was mentored by this old seasoned pimp, and this old pimp was cold. This motherfucker was cold-blooded in the film. He had on shades. He was an old dude. This nigga's voice was real icy. He had on shades. It was an old technical glitch. Sorry about that. But again, the dude's vibe was real cold-blooded in the film. And he was lacing Goldie with game. Telling him how to handle the women on the streets. Telling him how to carry himself. Lacing him. And Goldie was all ears. And Goldie was listening to this dude. And Goldie got on top of his game. And also, the old dude would let Goldie know when there was heat on him. Study that movie. Real good game in that movie. That movie was real. And they had like a whole bunch of real PIs in that movie. The movie was based on the Ward brothers. There was some real pimps up there in the Bay Area that the movie was based on. So that movie had authentic Bay Area pimps in it. That movie was real. They had a real players ball in there. It was real stuff. And also, one of the guys who was the film was about, Frank Ward, he actually got killed. A lot of people think that he got killed because of the Black Panthers, because at the time in the Bay Area, the Black Panthers were kind of shaking cash down for money, and they were shooting the Mac up in the Bay Area, and the Black Panthers wanted the film producers, to break bread to shoot the film out there. And also, the Black Panthers insisted that they had a conscious character in the movie. In the movie The Mack, there's Goldie's brother is like a pro-black type of dude. And I think they put him in there because the Black Panthers and Huey P. Newton and all those guys insisted that they had a conscious character in the movie. So it was a lot of deep stuff about that. But the point is, the mentoring game is real on every level. There's no escaping that. Whether you want to be a square, whether you want to be a hustler, you're going to have to sit down with somebody who's a thorough player, who knows a little bit more than you, and get laced with game. Put your ego aside and network with cats. Cats don't know how to network these days, and that's killing dudes. A lot of brothers don't know how to get their network game on. You don't know how to interact with dudes and chop up game and just humble yourself and learn something. See, niggas out here thinking with 100% ego. Your ego ain't shit. Your ego, that shit is damn near feminine based. That shit is not getting you nowhere. Y'all gotta sit down and listen to some cats and get some game from them. In the game, let's talk about the pimping for a minute, because I came up around a lot of these guys, and one of the rules of the game, to be a thorough PI, to be a thorough pimp in the game, you have to get around somebody who knows more than you. You got to get around a more seasoned player to soak up game from them. That's one of the unwritten rules. And the rule is, you don't have a problem lacing a new cat with game as long as he's worthy of getting that game. And the reason why they wanted to lace the younger up-and-coming players with game, they wanted to lace them with some real decent game so they wouldn't come in and poison the whole game. Because a lot of dudes, when they got into the pimping and they didn't know what they were doing, they would just throw a wrench in it and poison the game. They would poison the mentality of the girl. So a real thorough pimp who got a girl who has been mispimped by a nigga who don't know what he's doing, the girl is going to be ruined. And her mentality is going to be fucked up. And then you have to debrief all the garbage that's been put into her brain before you can give her some real good game. And it's a process of taking the garbage out of her brain. So they just want all the garbage niggas to be away from the game. And if you're going to get in the game, at least learn the basic rules. So that's one of the reasons why it was very important for the pimps to lace younger dudes with thorough, decent game. You understand that? Let me get a couple of calls. There's a lot more I want to get into as far as this. What's up? Who's calling? Hello?
What's going on, King Flex?
What's going on, brother? You had a little delay there, man. What's up? Where you calling from? Play. Okay, play. What's up with your phone, man? You're killing the vibe, man. What's up? Can you hear me? Look at this nigga right here. Player.
my phone messed it up, man. I apologize,
Get
man. 'cause
out
I
of
know
here, you damn nigga!
All right. Let me get another call. Y'all don't call me with these raggedy fucking prepaid phones. What's going on? Who's calling?
Yo, man, it's Montez, man.
What's up, Montez? How you doing, man?
I'm good, man.
Where you calling from?
I'm calling from Atlanta.
You calling from where?
Atlanta, in Mack, down in Georgia, down in Atlanta.
There you go,
South
man.
Atlanta.
There you go. What's on your mind, player?
Oh, no, nah, man, I like what we're doing, man.
I appreciate that. You coming to my lecture down in Atlanta May 18th?
Yeah, man, I'm gonna make it to it, man. Cause my day May 10th, so yeah, I'm gonna try to make it through there, man.
There you go, man. Thanks for the call, player. There you go. Anyway, y'all better call. Let me let y'all get y'all phones together. Y'all got to get these prepaid phones popping off. Come on now. But like I said, man, let me get back to the mentoring game and the importance of mentoring. And speaking of Atlanta, we need some mentoring down there in Atlanta. That's why I got to bring that hot game down to Atlanta, because I know y'all heard about those schools down in Atlanta. They a lot of those teachers down there, they're getting like Fed charges because there were teachers in Atlanta that were cheating on tests in order to get money from the school system down there. They had this whole little scam going on for years. And a lot of these sisters out there, a lot of black women out here who are teachers in Atlanta, they were cheating on these tests, getting money, because I think if you passed a certain amount of students, you would get extra money. So the students who were just dumb, I hate to use that term, but I'll say the students who were less than stellar, I say that. I don't want to call them dumb, because they've been dumbed down by the system. But a lot of the students who weren't passing, the teachers would just put the correct answers in the test for them and just kind of push them out in order to get funding, in order to get money. So it was a whole real big corruption thing going on down there. And it's been going on for a long time. And now they're throwing the book at some of those sisters, those black teachers down there. And it's open season on Atlanta right now. That's why I got to get down to Atlanta to chop up game about that. It's open season on Atlanta. They're about to clean Atlanta out. And I want to talk to the people in Atlanta about what's going down. But let me say this, gentrification is in full effect right now. Not just in Atlanta too, by the way. In a lot of cities. Gentrification is in full damn effect right now. They're going hard in Atlanta because even though what the teachers did was wrong, that shit wasn't cool, they're putting them up on RICO charges. That's the kind of shit you charge the mafia and drug kingpins with. These teachers are getting RICO charges. So these are very serious charges they're getting, and they're doing that to make an example. And I say this to the sisters out here, man. This is why I'm doing my lecture called The Game for Women, because I really want to lay sisters with some game, because that gravy train is starting to come to an end for a lot of these sisters. A lot of these sisters were getting into the system thinking that everything was all gravy, and they would teach y'all how to scheme and scam, because that whole teacher scam, that they've been doing that for a long time with black students. Corruption didn't start in these schools with the black teachers. They've been doing little corrupt stuff with black students and inner city students for the longest. The white teachers would do it. Now it's been transferred to the black teachers. They're doing some of this stuff. And they get these black female teachers who just go along to get along, and they do all this little scandalous stuff as far as the school system, misappropriating funds. And when it's time to throw people under the bus, who you think they're going to throw under the bus? They're going to throw the black folks under the bus first. You understand what I'm saying? So it's some real deep stuff that's going on out here. And I'm saying the gravy train is starting to come to an end. All this stuff that they let y'all do, sisters, they're about to start making examples out of you. And again, I'm going to talk deeper about that down in Atlanta. But it's very important that we get male teachers out here for a lot of our male students. In Chicago, there's a school called the Urban Prep Academy in Chicago. All boys school. It's an all boys school, and they have mostly male teachers. And there was a story that came out that the entire senior class, they graduated and they're going to college. So this school consistently has a success rate with graduating high school students. They all graduate. Now, some people say, well, they get rid of the bad apples. Well, shit, all schools get rid of the bad apples to a certain degree. Any kind of reputable school, they get rid of the bad apples. Every kind of charter school gets rid of bad apples. So that's a very unfair assessment, as if that school is doing something that's unique. All schools get rid of bad apples that are chartered or that are private schools. But these dudes are the best of the best, and they put it in there. These are all black dudes, and they get mentored and they get taught by other black men, and they have a great success rate. And that's very important sometimes, that you, in many cases, when you're educating young people or mentoring young people, you have to separate them from the opposite sex sometimes, because a lot of kids get distracted, especially black kids. Our kids get distracted around girls. Our boys get distracted around girls. Girls get distracted around boys. So a lot of times you have to separate them so you can lace them, because motherfuckers be trying to show out in front of each other. You don't want to look bad. You want to save face. Because again, the black community is just one big ball of ego. It's a real big ball of ego. And I know I did a lecture down at one school, and they had me talk to the boys first, then to the girls, then to the boys and girls together. Now, when I was talking to the boys by themselves, they were cool. When I was talking to the girls by themselves, they were cool. Now, when I got talking to the girls, I keep getting technical difficult. Hold on, let me fix this real quick. Sorry about that. We're live, and we get these little technical glitches. I fixed that. But like I said, when we were talking to the boys, it was cool. Talking to the girls by themselves, that was cool. But when we got the boys and girls together, that's when it got kind of rowdy. The girls got rowdy. The boys were all right. The boys were kind of still cool and mellow. But the minute I put the boys and the girls in the same room, the girls got real rowdy. I mean, real rowdy. So it's important that sometimes we have to separate the people, our kids, in order to mentor them so they won't get into that whole ego thing. Let me see. We got a lot of folks calling. Hold on. Who's calling?
This is Chase from Texas. What's going on?
What's up? How you doing, man? What part of Texas you in?
Man, we're Killeen, Texas.
What part of Texas?
Killeen, Texas.
Killeen, Texas. There you go, man. So what's on your mind?
Quick, man. First, I want to tell you, next time you be getting this, man, you be changing lives and saving lives, for real.
I can't understand what this brother's saying. People, why don't y'all go to the mall, invest in a good phone? This nigga sound like he was calling from a damn tin can with a string on it. That nigga was calling from a CB. I thought this was Smokey and the fucking Bandit. People, what's up with you in the phones? I didn't know they still sold raggedy phones. Let me try this one other person. My God. Hello, who's calling?
Hey, King Fleck, got a question.
There you go. This brother has a good phone. What kind of phone you got, brother?
iPhone?
Yeah, everybody, y'all need a fucking iPhone. Get an iPhone like this brother. This brother's clear. I can hear him. What's on your mind, brother?
Yeah, I noticed that you don't drink, and I don't drink myself.
Right.
But when I'm with friends, I get the peer pressure of saying that I need to drink, whereas if I was talking to a girl, they would say, don't tell no girl you don't drink, they're going to think you're lame. And I know you got a track record of nothing but bad bitches, so I just want to know, the next few, why don't the girls ask you why do you don't drink? Friends ask you why you don't drink. What do you tell them?
Right, and let me tell you this: the girl who said people gonna think you lame, tell her to eat a dick. Let her know you don't give a fuck what nobody else think about how you get down. That ain't lame. Tell them you don't need to drink. You're confident enough in yourself where you don't have to drink. Women ask me that all the time. How come you don't drink? I don't need to. That's just not my cup of tea. I'm gonna get that pussy without drinking. You know what I'm saying? You got to have that kind of attitude about it. And it's no rhyme or reason. You ain't really supposed to drink, to be honest. And people want to question you for doing something that you ain't supposed to be doing anyway. So I tell people I don't drink. I never got into it. It's just not my cup of tea. I like to think clear. I'm a thinker. I like to really be focused on certain things, and I like for my mind to be sharp. So that's what I would tell women, and they can't do anything but respect that. And that's real, because all my friends that I kind of grew up around out here in LA, these niggas would drink 40s and get fucked up, and half them niggas are dead and in jail right now. So that's one reason that stopped me from drinking, because I saw how these niggas would wild out, and that kind of kept me away from that. I wanted to be the one with clarity. So yeah, you're doing fine. You don't have to prove nothing. Fuck a peer pressure. You your own man. Don't let nobody peer pressure you into drinking and all that old sucker shit. You don't need all that. All you need is your game. You gonna get drunk on your own game. There you go. Thanks for the call, player. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. But anyway, back to the game. Back to the goddamn game. Now, let me say this. And now, I'm not trying to get on black teachers, black female teachers. I want to clarify that. I don't want people to think that I'm trying to shit on the black female teachers, where I was talking about the black females in Atlanta earlier, because there are some black female teachers who are very thorough. I say we need black male teachers because we need that energy. But there are black females who are thorough. Because when I was doing when Hidden Colors was in theaters around the country, there were a lot of teachers who would bring their students to the movie theaters. So there were a lot of teachers who cared about their students. They cared about the community. And there are a lot of teachers out there now who really care about the community. And let me say this. There are a lot of black female teachers who don't want to go against the grain as well. There's two types of black educators. There's two types of black educators out here. The first type, that's the kind of educator, the teacher who wants to see the quality of education better for black students. They genuinely want to see a quality education in the black community. That's one. And the second type of black educator, those are just the niggas who are happy to have a fucking job. And let's keep it 100. We got a lot of black teachers out here who basically parrot and mirror some of the mentalities and ideologies of some of these white teachers out here. So some of these black teachers, they're just going along to get along. They just want to check. They're like, let me babysit these niggas until 3 o'clock. And a lot of these black female teachers have that black feminist ideology. And again, they take on the same mentality as some of the racist white teachers out here. And that mentality, that black feminist mentality in a lot of teachers, that started in the 80s. I remember specifically when that started. That shit started in the 80s. In the 80s, you go to school and you would have these black female teachers that damn near hated the black boys. You could feel the hate. I mean, it was like a lot of them were like these single black women. They were single, they were angry, they were bitter, and you can just feel the hate coming from these teachers. They would always send cats to detention. They would front off on niggas in class. They would try to embarrass the boy students. You know what I'm saying? And that started specifically in the 80s. A lot of the older teachers, older black teachers, they weren't on that. It was a lot of these younger ones that were coming in the game at that time. And a lot of them, their mentality is, for a long time, it's like, look, I get paid a shit income. I'm working at this so-called inner city school. These old badass ashy boys. So there was a lot of hatred and bitterness there. So in the 90s, 2000s, that's when they started learning little scams and schemes to kind of get more money. There's all types of little scams and schemes and rackets with these schools, because in the education game, there's a lot of money floating around. For education, there's a lot of money out there. Teachers get a small percentage of it, but the thing is, you got to weasel and hustle to get some of these funds. You understand what I'm saying? There's a lot of money in education or education-based stuff. And as far as the food, there's a lot of money in that. The school supplies, there's a lot of money in that. There's a lot of money floating around education. And again, a lot of these females out here, they will conform. They don't want to buck the system. So this is why I say it's important that we get some real thorough brothers out here as well who really want to educate. Like brother Booker T. Coleman, who's in Hidden Colors 2 and 1, and brothers like Umar Johnson. These are brothers who are excellent mentors who really, really care about the quality of education. We need brothers like that in the school systems. I mean, we have brothers like that. The education game will change, but again, they purposely put in people who will go along to get along, people who they know are not going to mentor these kids properly so they can properly miseducate them and then put a black face on the miseducation. Because back in the 70s, and even now in certain schools now, because some of these middle age white teachers, they're not out of the system either. They're still out there now miseducating the kids. But when you can put a black face on it, you can escape the claim of racism. You can say, hey, look, it's the black teachers doing all this. You can't blame us. Look, we put the black teachers in there. We put black people in office, and you guys are messing up. It's that type of thing. Let me see. The phone number is 818-850-5404, ladies and gentlemen. Again, a lot of people are calling. If you call up, please have your phone game together. Please have your phone right. Don't have your phone sounding raggedy. But like I said, man, down in Atlanta, the game is coming to an end. And even with black officials, if you notice, they're throwing a lot of black officials under the bus right now. In Atlanta, in Chicago, they're throwing black officials under the bus. They're throwing black officials under the bus in Detroit. I just saw on the news, it was a brother trying to run for mayor in New York, and they got him for bribery. They had the feds watching him. So if you notice, in the media, a lot of black officials, black elected officials, black education officials, they're just throwing them under the bus heavy. They're making it seem like black politicians and black city officials are just corrupt. All of them are corrupt. This is the image that they're putting out. And they're going to keep doing this for the next 4 years. And they're going heavy because right now, our President Barack Obama is in office. And they're getting rid of a lot of black officials in a lot of these major cities. Again, because this is because of gentrification. Gentrification is in effect right now. And they're throwing all of these black officials under the bus. So now when the president is out of office and then black folks say, hey, to the next politician, why don't you do something for us? They're going to be like, niggas, eat a dick. We ain't doing shit for you because number one, all of your politicians were corrupt, and when your politicians were in office and when Barack Obama was in office, you didn't ask him for shit, and we're gonna give you the same thing he gave you, nothing. So they're setting us up for that, y'all. Just mark my words. Mark my words. They're setting us up for the big payback. You understand what I'm saying? Anyway, y'all, let me get up out of here, y'all. Today's show, again, has been brought to you by Hidden Colors and HiddenColorsFilm.com. Don't forget to join me live in Atlanta. Go to TariqLive.com to get tickets to the Game for Women lecture, ladies and gentlemen. The Game for Women lecture. Get tickets to join me live in Atlanta. Follow me on Twitter at Tariq Nasheed. Ladies and gentlemen, the game in Atlanta is going to be very heavy. You better get your tickets. Get them while they're hot. And again, I'm going to be down in Houston, Texas, too. Texas Southern University. And shout out to the brothers and sisters at Texas Southern University because they want to clean up the image of Texas Southern University because from what I understand, they kind of had a reputation of being ratchet. And they want to clean that image up. And I applaud them for doing that. I applaud the men for taking the initiative to step up and bring people in who's going to bring that knowledge, bring that real good game. And I take my hat off to them. And we need more schools with brothers stepping up to the plate, making it happen. You feel me? Anyway, y'all, that's been today's episode of the Mack Lessons Radio Show. I will holla. Peace. Will holla. Peace. Will holla. Peace. Will holla. Peace.